In 1992 or 93, there was a world food, no, um, a world human rights meeting was called in Vienna. And of course, we at Amnesty were going to go to that along with lots of others. And I decided I would take with me 12 victims of torture, survivors of torture, who, instead of the press talking to organizations about the survivors and the victims of torture, that actually have the presence of at least 12 that we could provide. And that worked out rather nice. We were able to infiltrate the press and give it more of a reality test. It was, but before that, I'd led a youth delegation to Croatia and Bosnia to visit the refugee camps. And the war was on. And this is about 1991, 92, maybe 93, I forget. And so I'm down in Bosnia one day, and we met with the refugees, and we were taking kind of a day off. And I'm sitting on the soccer field next to a young kid, I don't know, about 14. His name was Adin, and there was a soccer game going on. All his buddies, he's yelling to them. And, he's animated about the game. And I eventually said, "Hey, Adin, why don't you go into the game? Don't you play soccer? Everybody here in Europe plays soccer, not football, but soccer." He said, "Yeah." He said, I do play," and he let it go for a while. And I later come back to it, so, "Hey, you go out there." And then it came game kind of tight. And I said, "Well, it was 1-1 or something like that." And I said, "Why don't you just go and join your team? You can give them some fresh legs." And he said, "Jack," he said, "No, I can't do it." And I said, "Why?" And he said, "Because some of those people on the field that I played ball with before, they raped and murdered my mother and two sisters in this war. And I can't bring myself to play soccer ever again." He said, I just, I don't trust anybody anymore, because I thought they were my friends and we always get along and play soccer and be good to one another." And it was kind of shocking. So we get up to Vienna Human Rights Conference, and it goes pretty well. We have our 12 survivors, a victim there to talk to the press. Amnesty has a good delegation. Uh, but they wouldn't let Dalai Lama in. So what's that about? So I decided to do civil disobedience. So I led a big crowd around the whole daggone thing, chanting, about the Dalai Lama. Um, and the police came, and we did some confrontation with them, and we decided, because it's the UN, we're not going to actually get arrested, because we wanted to attend the conference itself and keep at it what was going on. So then the next day, they wouldn't allow in the women from Vukovar, I think. It's a Croatian city that was totally destroyed by the Serbs. Uh, I don't think by the Bosnians, but I think by the Serbs. And it was wiped out. And these are the surviving women from that town. And so I did another civil disobedience on that one too, because they wouldn't let them have a voice at the conference. But I think in some small way, our survivors, the victim, became the voices of that conference, because the press did go to them and cover, and beyond the conversations with the Chinese controlled a lot of it. I think the Amnesty chapters had Aung San Suu Kyi's picture on a stick, and then when the Chinese delegate got up, they put her face up in front of them, and so there was a good confrontation to the Chinese there, nonviolent, beautiful. Uh, so in some sense, the voices coming out of the conference were more of the survivors, and and that was a step forward, I think, and I'm glad we had chosen such wonderful folks to do that, and I'm so glad they were willing to go over there and do that and go through all that agony. I really want to congratulate them even today. Thanks.